This day in history, do you remember this big one? Former President Donald Trump isn't the first president to face legal action. Former President Richard Nixon, he wasn't charged with anything, but he was on the verge of that happening, which is why he stepped down, resigning the presidency. It was all because of the Watergate scandal, and at the center of it all was an Idaho man. On this day, 19 years ago, we found out the identity of the anonymous Watergate source, Deep Throat, who before that was only known to two Washington Post reporters and their editor. But that all changed on May 31st, 2005, when a report from Vanity Fair came out and Washington Post reporter Bob Woodward confirmed top FBI official and Idaho native Mark Felt was the source behind the stories that eventually led to the resignation of President Nixon. So who was Mark Felt? Former KTV reporter Allison Uten tells us in this week's 208 Redial.
3 decades of speculation are now over. This is the man known to generations as the mysterious and anonymous Washington insider who brought down the Nixon administration.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Tell me what you know, and I'll confirm.
In Hollywood, the role of Deep Throat was played by Hal Holbrook in the movie All the President's Men.
Just follow the money.
In real life, the role was played by Mark Felt, at the time the #2 man at the FBI. He says he leaked information to Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein about the botched break-in at the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee. His 30-year secret is revealed in an exclusive interview with Vanity Fair magazine.
We really appreciate you coming out.
91-year-old Felt now lives in California with his daughter, but he was raised in the Magic Valley. In 1913, he was born William Mark Felt. He grew up in a modest home on 6th Avenue East in Twin Falls. In high school, he played basketball and was reportedly a doorman at the Idaho Theater. He went on to the University of Idaho, where he was a leader in his fraternity. This is also where he met his wife-to-be, Audrey Robinson, who grew up in Gooding. Felt graduated in 1935 with a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Idaho. 7 years later, in 1942, he became a special agent with the FBI. He's described as one of J. Edgar Hoover's closest protégés. When Hoover died in '72, Felt became the #2 in command. This was also the year he was inducted into the U of I Hall of Fame, and the year he became forever linked with the Watergate scandal.
It may be indeed the final and most decisive chapter and factor in learning more about this scandal and how the information got out and the role of this man.
Allison Uten, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Mark Felt, of course famously known as Deep Throat, died on December 18th, 2008, just 3 years after that Vanity Fair story came out. He was 95 years old. President Nixon is still the only president that has ever resigned the presidency.